I'm gonna share with you the English for the medical students. So the material is here. Wait. So this is the course looks like the e-learning. So one of the course is here, English or MKU Bahasa Inggris or English for medical student FKIK. So I'm teaching the medical students of the university, and right. And this is some of the activities which can be seen that the meeting. I just share this half of the meetings. Like we give them the material about first, of course, introduction, and then this is the activities what they need to do, and then I put this on the e-learning platform. Like please make a video on introducing yourself, covering the information about you, your family. Wait. Wait, I can move it. So, wait. So, and then I give the setting for the time when they need to submit that, and the video is no longer than 10 minutes, for example. So it's I made them to imagine how will you look like in the next 15 years, something like that. So about you now, you in the futures, and then like in 15 years from now on, and they are happy with that assignment, and they have the imagination that I want to have a clinic, I want to have this, I want to have a family, something like that. So they're really happy with that, and they are doing that in the group. So it can be in a group. Sorry, this one is an individual video. So they use for introducing themselves and introducing others. And also we have medical herb, medical vocabulary. Of course, we need to give the material related to their world, and then also visiting doctors. And then I'll give them writing a paragraph on medical science, reviewing the friends paragraph, and then the mid test. This is just half of them. But at the end of the meeting, there are also more material here. Like I also change it from, sometimes I give them the video, I'll be like this, please watch the video and make a summary in Indonesia, because the video is in English and they have to make it in Indonesia, whether they really understand or not. So they have to make the summary, and they should be free from the act of plagiarism. I said, you may not copy your friend. If I found out something like that, you got 0 score for that, I said. And then they're happy with that. And they said, they report to me, ma'am, this is the bule, because this has been second semester, right? First semester student. But we watch the YouTube, we make it slower, so we can watch them slower, we can understand it more. And then like 2 or 3 times I have to watch it, but it's fun, they said. And they do that. And then they also there is a course, the meeting with visiting doctors. So I asked them to develop a conversation on visiting the doctors, like one of them become the doctors and one of them become the patients, and then they have the role play, but they make it in a video, something like that. So we can use many technology and platforms for teaching and learning in a classroom, and we can also switch the material with the technology that we can use, like for example, so like this medical vocabulary I took it from YouTube, and then I give the example of the task here, like they have to watch this and they have some vocabulary, and I ask them to find out 2 journals in their field, for example, and then highlight the meaning of the vocabulary that they don't know. So they make the list of the vocabulary they don't know, and then after that they make a summary about it, and then also about the this one. And this one is giving the assignment for making the video and all that. They are really happy with that, and I am happy as well as a teacher. And I think I'm coming to the end of the conversation, the talk. So at that time at the university, now we have online and offline. This currently this semester, we are free to choose. Each faculty might have their own decision. Have the offline one, so we go to the university, but the teachers can also choose to use blended learning, so combine the online and the offline. So we also goes to campus, and we got more students now, quite more students. The campus is more lively now. And then some faculties like Faculty of Economic and Business, they choose not to use the offline one, just the online one. But that semester, the last semester is allowed. So the next semester probably will be like offline or blended, both of them in the next semester. So we also need still to follow the health protocol, and the students should give the letters of parent concern that the parents allow them to go to the university, to the campus. Now, this is the last thing. So as a teacher, you, the participant, which one do you like now? After you experience the process of coping with the COVID and teaching and learning, just like what you need to do to deal with that in the last 2 years, which one do you prefer? You can answer that in the chat box, that whether you like it online or offline or blended or hybrid. You can share. But for me, myself, I think I'm going to like it to be blended. So half of the bit will be on the e-learning, and then also face-to-face meeting, something like that. So I think that's the thing that I can share with you this morning. I hope it will be useful, because that's the practice that I did in the teaching and learning of English at my university, University of Bengkulu, on the course that I taught them the last 3 semesters during the COVID time. So if you need to contact me, I'm at a study program of postgraduate program, the home base now, and you can also reach me through my email, or mobile phone, or Facebook and Instagram a bit. Yeah, the Instagram is a bit private though. I think that's all I can share with you. I hope you get some knowledge or useful things from this the talk tips I'm giving today. Thank you so much, and I think I'll give it back to Ibu Ina. Ibu Ina, time is yours.
Well, I feel flattered to be calling Ibu Ina actually. Well, I thank you so much, Kak Wisma. That is how I usually call you. And of course, it is very useful for what we heard today. And as you know, that a lot of teachers are actually struggling teaching English, especially English online. But one thing that I note is that technology, even though offline or online classes, technology should not replace the main role of the teacher to be the facilitator and the of the learning process. So no matter how do we say that one-way communication, for example, but we have to design something that can still engage the students to communicate, to use English as a means of communication. And one more thing that I really agree with you is that there's a lot of people said that the target of learning English is to be able to speak like native. So that is not actually the main purpose of it. So I've got to bear in mind that the purpose of learning English is to enable them to speak, to communicate, to use the language appropriately based on the cultural and situational setting. That is what I know. I really thank you, Ibu Wisma Yunita, for a very valuable presentations and knowledge that you've shared with us. Well, thank you, Kak. Well, now we come to the fourth speaker. Actually, our fourth speaker is Bapak Afrianto Daud, but because she is still in a very important thing, in the middle of something now, so our fourth speaker today is going to be Bapak Ridianto from STKIP Abdi Pendidikan Payakumbuh. So let me tell a little bit about him. So Mr. Ridianto is an English lecturer at STKIP Abdi Pendidikan Payakumbuh, and he graduated from Steinbatu Sangka for the bachelor and earned his master degree in Universitas Negeri Padang. His expertise is in teaching media for young learners and computer-assisted learning language. So I welcome Pak Ridianto to deliver his presentation. Pak Ridianto, please.
Okay. So sorry.
It's a little bit buffering, Pak Ridi.
Yeah. Wait a moment. Okay, everybody. It's time for me to share my presentation. Okay, the honorable our speakers, Bu Vinita, Pak Aufa, and Bu Wisma Yunita, and also Pak Afrianto Daud. Okay, now allow me to share screen my presentation. Aduh, masalah lagi. Bu Vin, masalah lu jaringan lu lihat. Jaringan lu masalah. There is problem with my thing. Melalui HP juga.
Well, we are sorry for the technical problem, so I'm sorry for making you wait, but please wait a little bit more. Thank you. Excuse me, Paridianto, your voice is not heard.
Okay, can you see my screen? Okay, I'm so sorry, the one I have a problem with my laptop and also my phone just now. Okay, in this question, actually, I would like to present our topic today is digital literacy in industrial revolution 4.0. Actually, this is one of the big question for us. Yeah, because most of us know about this one, but the big question is, do we understand and comprehend what's going on? So we want to discuss more about this one. Okay, now when we relate to the stages of the Industrial Revolution, actually we can see from this picture. Yeah, we start from the first Industrial Revolution. We start from 1780s. That is mixed with the steam power, making men more productive, and also the second uh, industrial revolution is match 1870s is focused on the development of mass production and electrical energy. And the third industrial revolution, it is about 1969. It was matched the development of IT and electronics. And now today it is focused on the cyber physical system or the Internet of Things and the networks. So based on these stages of the Industrial Revolution, so we should think that about some of points. Yeah, yeah, we change the script and shift the Industrial Revolution 4.0. So do we understand and comprehend what's going on about this one? So we should understand all. And based on the stages of Industrial Revolution, it is 4.0. Actually, the space one, all the aspects are changed and include the education. Yeah, as we know, the one, yeah, there is one of new paradigm in the additional context. Yeah, for example, it is based on the information from Suraji. Yeah, the development of information and communication technology has indirectly influenced the world of education and learning in this country. So this one focus on about the technology. Actually, this development are fundamental and have brought significant change in the selection innovation of education world. From this one, actually, there are some points. The one is information, internet, and technology. The point of focus about the 4.0. So they're related to the education 4.0. We can say the one in this education 4.0 or the industrial revolution 4.0. So is all the aspect relates to the technology. So we can say the Indonesian language, it is melek dengan dunia digital, information, communication, and technology. And then when we relate to the World Economic Forum in Kemendikbud 2017, there are some foundation of the literacies. Yeah, the first one, it is literacy. Some of people think that the literacy focus only to reading and writing. Yeah, relate to this one. But it is not. And the second one is numeracy. Numeracy, it is related to the numbers, and there's this one. The third is scientific literacy, so it is focused on about the scientific. And number 4 is ICT, or we can say it is information, communication, and technology, or we can say the one it is related to digital literacy. And point 5th, it is financial literacy that is related to some of finance. And the last, the culture and civic literacy. So a lot of them are not, it is not, can be separated each other. So it's related to each other. Next. Yeah, based on the change of based on the digital literacy, so we can say we can get from some sources. It is we can get from the digital literacy or ICT literacy is one of the ability to find, evaluate, communicate. It is from Wikipedia. Based on all of this opinion and expert that one, so we can get the point. Yeah, when we talk about the digital literacy or ICT literacy, there are some points. The first one, ability to access and get the information. Yeah, so we want to, if we want to focus about how to access and how to get the information, is one of the big thing that we want to find, what we want to get. So be careful, because we want to relate this how to get the information. So we focus on be careful to get the information. Is sometimes it is hot, yeah. So be careful the one. And the second one, it is ability to comprehend after we get the information and how to analyze and comprehend the information that we get from the sources. It is from digital sources. And the third, how we can to use it, ability to use after we understand it and how to use it in our digital literacy. That it means one, it is teaching and learning process. Maybe we can use it. And therefore, how to evaluate. So it is one of the ability for us to evaluate that we have get, comprehend, and to use, and how to evaluate all the some points that we get. And number 5, how to create or to make a digital product, and also the last, ability to communicate. When we wanted to make one of the illustration for us, for example, when we wanted to do the research, so be careful. Maybe we wanted to get the information from sources. It is from link, a book, or other point of view. And after we understand and we get the information, so how to understand it, the information that research we are going to do for improve our research. And maybe the ability to use it, it means one, we wanted to cheat the sources to our research. And then how to evaluate. Maybe after we evaluate all the sources that we have, and also we can make a digital product. Like we wanted to make a book, so it is we can make digital book like what you said one, it is a student worksheet or and others. And how we deliver the one, how do we deliver the point of view that we can get from the sources. And then, so based on the point that we get from digital literacy, so we should be smart. Yeah, it is how to get the sources for teaching and learning. Yeah, maybe we want to talk when we talk about the teaching and learning. So it is not only for the teacher, the lecturer, and student, but also for the students. So we should relate to the like media concept and others. And as we talk from our speaker before, the one from Bu Benita, Alpha, and Bu yes. Okay, so we should be smart in getting the teaching and learning materials. So all of the teaching and learning do by online. Maybe it is like blended learning, offline or online. And then when we relate to the digital literacy, it is for 21st century. So we need some points, the skills. Yeah, for example, for foundational literacies, actually there are 6. Yeah, literacy, numeracy, scientific literacy, ICT literacy, financial, and culture. And also the competency that we have from this point of view, how our students approach the complex challenges, like the students should be critical thinking, how can solve the problem, and creativity, communication, and collaboration with other students. And also for character qualities, actually the students change the environment. Yeah. So based on this one, when we are not to relate these skills, actually for the digital literacy, we can maybe we can make like digital competencies, digital literacy, and digital transformation. So in the digital competencies, the student, teachers, as a lecturer should have some sources, concept, and others. But the digital literacy, we should be professional. And for the digital transformation, actually, how do we have the like curiosity, creativity, and others? So this is a point of view from skills one. To the best question for us, because what is the true digital literacy? Yeah, today we can see and we pay attention all the technology they use by all the students, teachers, and lecturers. Sometimes they are only focused on about computer for texting and gaming. But how do we use all the technological tools available? So there are so many kinds of media technology that can be used for teaching and learning process. Yeah, we can say that one for teaching media, actually we can see the one, it is teacher map. So how the teachers can make the materials for teaching, not only use the tools that are available. For example, we can say the one it is like Zoom, Google, and also another point, we can say the one it is ready media. So it means when we only use it, the tools or the technology that can use for teaching and learning process. So the big question for us, who is the digitally literate? From the definition just now, we can conclude that one, there are 6 points that we should understand. Digital literate focus on about the technical and cognitive. So how to find, how to understand and comprehend, how to evaluate, how to use it, how to create, and how to communicate. So all of this one should delivered by digital information in any variety of formats actually. And this one of quotation, it is a Bill Gates. Yeah, we can know the one, the influence of technology is based on it, so that you don't really even notice. So it's part of everyday life. So the point of this quotation actually in Indonesian language, ya boleh dikatakan kehidupan kita hari ini dituntut untuk melek dengan digital, karena perubahan dari industrial revolution 4.0, kita dituntut untuk lebih paham, lebih mengerti dengan mulai dari awal sampai akhirnya nanti. Ya, when we want to relate, we want to see the before the digital literacy, we can see the one. Yeah, for example, yeah, when I studied at senior or S1 degree student, ya kalau kita lihat di sana ada perubahan yang sangat penting sekali. Yang pertamanya dulu waktu awalnya kita dituntut untuk bisa komputer. Nah, kemudian di tahun-tahun selanjutnya, nah kita dituntut bisa untuk menguasai internet. Ya, dan untuk hari ini, ya, it is automation. Ya, all of the activities can be done by automation. It is like robotic. So we should understand and develop our ability and capability in teaching and learning process. Yeah, it is not only the concept, but also we should understand the technology itself. Ya, berarti secara umum untuk digital literasi ini kita di era sekarang boleh dikatakan dituntut untuk melek dengan teknologi. Tidak dilihat dari latar belakang. Apakah kita berlatar belakang pendidikannya boleh dikatakan guru, dosen, tapi karena faktor usia, mungkin ini hal penting, kita harus bisa. So we can say the one, maybe I'm one of the immigrant digital, and maybe the students or our student today it is the native digital. Berarti boleh dikatakan kita yang tahun 90-an boleh dikatakan itu orangnya imigran, berarti orangnya yang boleh dikatakan agak melek dengan dunia digital, kurang ya. Ada kata orangnya gaptek. Nah, maka pada hari ini baik itu semua lini ya harus bisa teknologi. So when we talk to more about the digital literacy, it is not only for the school environment, but also we can apply it in family and also the citizen digital. Berarti boleh dikatakan nanti digital literacy itu tidak hanya di sekolah saja, di rumah ataupun di lingkungan masyarakat sudah terjadi. So, tapi ada tantangan. There are some what do you call it? It is ada tantangannya, ada peluangnya, ya. Bagi yang bisa memanfaatkan maka menjadikan peluang. Tapi kalau yang tidak gaptek maka itu menjadi tantangan. So we are as teacher, we are as lecturer, and we are as a student should think about this one. Okay, so the point is prepare ourselves. Yeah. Okay, I think that's all from me. If I missed it, so sorry. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Pak Ridianto, for the interesting topic you shared with us today. So I believe that in today's life, digital literacy is not a choice for every educational practitioners, but it is something that we have to have and we have to possess as the practitioners. Now, thank you, Pak Ridi. Now we come to our fifth speaker today, Mr. Afrianto Daud, SPD, MED, PhD. Sorry, Pak Afrianto. So Mr. Afrianto Daud is an English lecturer in Riau University. He earned his bachelor degree in English for Education in Universitas Negeri Padang in 2000, and then pursued his master and doctorate degree at the same university in Monash University, Australia. Not only holding a very important position in many departments in his campus, Mr. Afrianto Daud is also very active in writing, researching, and becoming an outstanding speaker in both national and international conferences, workshops, and trainings. So that is a very short introduction from me, Mr. Daud. And now please welcome Bapak Afrianto Daud, SPD, MED, PhD. Bapak Afrianto, please.
Okay, thank you, Bu Hervina, for a very nice introduction. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
How are you, everyone?
Good.
Sorry, I'm a bit late because now I'm multitasking. I'm now somewhere in Kuansing. I have a program in a school. So happy to be with you. Happy to be with you, everyone. Thank you for the committee to invite me to share some ideas here. And also greeting for all great speakers, Ibu Nita Dewi. I've heard and I have read your name in many places. Good to be with you on the same screen today. And also greeting for my friend, Pak Fauzul Aufa. I think this is also Melbourne alumni. Pak Fauzul, how are you today? And also greeting for Bu Wisma Yunita. Nice to meet you, Bu Wisma. And of course, our great speaker also, Pak Ridianto. And all great teachers and participants here. Okay, everyone, in about 20 minutes, I'll be sharing some probably simple ideas in how we can maintain interactivity and collaboration in the context of online learning environment. Let me share my screen with you first. Okay, because I was not here listening for the first, second, and third speaker, I don't know whether my topic is kind of overlapping with previous speakers. Hopefully not.
Luckily not, sir.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Of course, we don't want to repeat something the same, yeah, in one session. Okay, about me has been nicely introduced by Miss Hervina. Yeah, nice to meet you, Miss Hervina. Are you teaching in Payakumbuh?
Yes, sir. Teaching and STK Abdi Pendidikan Payakumbuh.
Right.
Hopefully to see you in person someday here in our campus, sir.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, I've been passing through Payakumbuh a lot. When I come back to West Sumatra, I come from West Sumatra. Probably some of participants are my friends as well.
Okay. So
Okay.
welcome home virtually.
Yeah, hopefully one day I can drop in your camp.
Thank you.
So I'll be talking in this 3 or 4 subsections, and to start with kind of reflection, and then I'm going to talk a bit about online learning and community of inquiry, this concept proposed by Garrison and friends. And the third one is I'm going to share some practical ideas. How can we boost interactivity and actually also collaboration in our online learning environment? Let's start first with a small reflection, everyone. Try to look back what we have been doing so far in the context of online learning, because we have been doing this for quite long, more than 2 years for many of us, but maybe for some of you more than 2 years, yeah, for those who have practiced online learning before pandemic. Now to start this presentation, because my topic is in interactivity, so I have to practice what I'm preaching, right? So let's see this video first, everyone. I'm going to share this video. It's a very short video. Some of you might have watched this video. That's fine. You can repeat and watching it. So what I want you, after watching this video, please write 3 or 4 words that come up to your mind. Yeah, after watching this video, what do you think about this video? Again, please write 3 or 4 words reflecting your impression of this video. And please write it later in the chat box. Do you understand the instruction, everyone? Yeah, hopefully.
Yes.
Right. Now, let's watch this video. Okay, I'm not sure whether the audio passes to you, but at least you can see the video. Now, everyone, as I said, what do you think about this video? Please write 2, 3, 4 words, only words. You don't need to write sentences. Okay. Cheating on online class, the merit of online meeting, creative. Wow. Yeah. Mr. Isa tried to look at from another perspective. She lies to her lecturer, integrity, interesting idea for what? To cheat the teacher? Okay, smart. Okay. Boring lecturer. Yeah, boring lecturer. Creative. Okay. Creative, sir. Yeah, creative for, yeah, different perspective can come up, of course. So everyone, I think some of us can see this video is, as you said, kind of the merit of online learning, where student can cheat teacher. Yeah, teacher has done maybe a good job explaining lesson to student in front of camera, but the students try to play with the camera. Yeah, instead of listening to the teacher, she in this case goes sleeping. Yeah, and do you think that the teacher knows that the student is sleeping? Probably not. Yeah, so from this side or from this perspective, we can see this is probably one of the negative side of online learning. However, in another side, as you all have written, yeah, it can also be seen as a creative idea. Yeah, let's have a positive thinking for this particular student. She is probably really tired of doing something else before the class, and she doesn't want to miss the class. So instead of leaving the class, she tried to probably videotape the class, and she can come back to listen to the presentation after the class. Okay, but in terms of interactivity, do you think this is an example of good interactive class? I believe we would answer no, right? Because as you can see, yeah, teacher mainly talks or present or speak, yeah, and then the student listen to the teacher. And of course, we don't want that happen many times in our online learning environment. All right. Okay, everyone, we have been doing this online learning for almost 2 years or even more than 2 years. And I think we need to acknowledge that one of the problems of online learning is, yeah, lack of interactivity. And even some students might feel isolated during online learning because most of the time students are sitting in front of their camera alone, okay, without their friends beside them. Of course, yeah, that's different from offline class. When we are teaching in an offline classes, yeah, we can see the real people are around us, so we don't feel isolated. But in an online learning environment, our student could be easily feeling isolated. So we need to remind this, and we need to keep this in our mind that the feeling of isolated could be experienced by our students. So that's why we are challenged as a teacher. How can we make our class more interactive? Or how can we create a collaborative activities in our online class? It's easy to be interactive in offline classes. It's easy to do collaborative project in offline meetings, but we need some more skills. I think how can we make it interactive and collaborative as well in online learning environment? But yes, to start this activity, I mean, to start this topic, I think we have to agree that it is possible, yeah, to make our class more interactive and more collaborative as far as we can do that, or as far as we know how to do that. All right, everyone. Before I share some practical ideas, how can we boost interactivity and collaboration in our learning and online learning environment? Let me remind you with this concept, community of inquiry. What is community of inquiry? Some of you might have about this. Yeah, this concept, yeah, refers to how can we create an online learning environment where a group of individuals can collaboratively engage, yeah, in creating a deep and meaningful learning experience through development of three independent elements. So Garrisons introduces us with these three elements that we need to make sure we have in an online learning environment so we can create a community of inquiry. So students are not going to feel isolated anymore. They can feel that they are in one group of community, learning together collaboratively, yeah, in an engaging process. What are the three elements? The first elements, yeah, Garrison et al. Call as teaching presence. So what do we need to do in terms of teaching presence? So of course, we have to set up our curriculum. We have to make sure the methods, yeah, the media, and we have to make sure some activities that can enable student learning. So basically, teaching presence is about how you and how can we plan our lessons by preparing, let's say, our materials and our methods of teaching until the student can learn something. And to do that, we have to make sure what we call by cognitive presence. So in applying the plan that we have to make sure there are some activities that enable students to exchange information, and how can they connect ideas, and also how can they apply the new ideas to their life. And another important element in the context of interactivity and collaboration as our topic today is social presence. So we need to make sure how can our student socially connected each other. And that is the challenge in online learning, because at first we said that online learning students are easily feeling isolated. But as far as we know how to do that, we can avoid the feeling of isolation. We can still manage our class where the students feel connected each other, socially connected each other, even they can still have the feeling of being cohesive, yeah, with other members of the class. So when we talk about social presence, yeah, there are three main elements that we need to make sure exist in our class, so students can feel that they have cohesion, or they feel cohesive with each other, and also they have a feeling of togetherness. Yeah, in this case, it's affective. And another one is they can interact each other. So one simple examples of this social presence is whether a student can interact each other, not only listening to the teacher's presentation. So if we come back to the previous video that we have watched, probably the teacher cannot really design his class with this social presence. Yeah, because yeah, he mainly present the material by himself, and student has lack of interactivity, and we don't want it happen in our class. Theoretically speaking, interaction and collaboration, yeah, are two important activities that we have to make sure in designing our class, both offline and online classes. If we go to the learning theories, I think most of us have been familiar with social constructivism, yeah, especially proposed by Vygotsky. So in the theory of social constructivism, yeah, we believe that students will learn better, through socializing, yeah, with other students, yeah, and of course also socializing with the teacher uh, itself. So we have to make sure some of our learning activities in the classroom, how can the student socialize, how can the student interact, and how can the student collaborate with other students. And what the teachers need to do, the teacher will be mainly playing as facilitator. This is an easy word to say. We have heard about this teacher as facilitator, yeah, many times. Yeah, that is sometimes it's not easier to apply that in the classroom for some reasons. And one of the reasons in our online learning is probably we don't know how to, or we don't know what are some apps that can facilitate this interactivity and this collaboration. And that's that I'm going to share later, some practical ideas for us, yeah, to facilitate this interactivity and this collaboration. I skip this. Yeah, I skip this. All right. To be more specific, there are three kinds of interactivity that we need to make sure. Yeah, because there are three important people in our class. Yeah, there are learner, not people. Yeah, there are two people, learner and instructor, but another one is content. So we have to make sure in terms of interactivity, there is an activity that enables students to interact between learners themselves. But of course, there is also an activity that enables students to interact with the instructor or with the teacher, and also the activity that enables students that to interact with the content that we provide in online learning environment. Yeah, because sometimes, I think I heard the word blended learning before. If we apply blended learning, one of the activities is students need to study by themselves through the material that we have posted in learning management system. So when they can study the material by themselves, when they can access the material that we have provided in the LMS, that is one example of how learner has been able to interact with the content, everyone. So that's why when we are talking about online learning environment, yeah, for example, when you are developing your LMS, or when you are developing a website for online learning environment, yeah, we have to make sure there are some features that enable people to interact each other. So normally, online learning environment will consist of these features, like features for video conferencing, or video recording, or features for participation control, chat and instant messaging, digital whiteboard, and so on and so forth. And one popular example, yeah, for this kind of learning environment is this Zoom application. As you can see, Zoom always update their features. And now I think we can do most of these activities using only Zoom application. We can do video conferencing, of course. We can record a video. We can control the participant. If somebody are noisy, the host can mute the participant. That's one of examples of the control. We can chat and also send message, and we can also use digital whiteboard in Zoom application, right? And it seems to me today there are many applications similar to Zoom that have provided these features. So everyone, yeah, one thing that we need to make sure is we have to be familiar with all features of these applications. Not only Zoom, of course, yeah, even if you use other video conference application like Google Meet. I think also Google Meet is always updating their features. They also now have a digital whiteboard. They also have video recording and so forth. Right, everyone. So my point is, that's good. We have been very familiar with many video conferencing, but maybe the question is, have you explored and have you been familiar with all of these features? So you can use these features to facilitate students' interactivity and collaboration. Because some people said, I know that interactivity and collaboration are two things that we need to make sure in our class, but we cannot really do it online. Yeah, how can we, for example, ask the student to have small group discussion, for example? It's easy to do it offline, but it's not easy to do it online. But is it possible to do it? Very possible. Yeah, there are many apps and many software today that can facilitate these activities, everyone. All right, now I'm going to share some of ideas later. Let's come to the third part of my presentation. Yeah, some practical ideas. Maybe I'm going to talk about some apps as well, how to boost and facilitate interactivity and collaboration. Let me start with a very simple one, something that we have been very familiar with this Zoom application. Yeah, one thing that many of us probably do not explore yet is how can we make use of emoticons, yeah, in teaching, yeah, during online classes. Yeah, you know, emoticon are always there in every apps, but many of us probably do not really explore the use of these emoticons for interaction or for interactivity. You know, sometimes what I practice in my class when I ask my students, especially in a big class, yeah, consisting many students, uh, sometimes I ask them to reply my greeting with relevant emoticons. Remember the what is it? One basic principle about image: a picture can express 1,000 words. Okay, so one emoticon, yeah, can deliver 1,000 messages. Let's practice exploring this emoticon, everyone. Please now go to your Zoom application, and I'm going to try to greet you with a very simple question like, how are you, everyone? Now, can you please reply or respond my greeting with relevant emoticons? Yeah, please respond. You know emoticon, yeah, the features emoticon somewhere on your screen, right? Hello, how are you, everyone? Can you please respond it? If you are happy, please find relevant emoticon for being happy or feeling happy. Okay, that's good. That is in the chat box. Now please do it on your screen instead of in the chat box. Do it directly here. Yeah, by pressing the relevant emoticons. Nobody. All right. Thank you, Bu Chanti Diana Seri. Look at Bu Chanti's screen, everyone. How are you feeling when you see the smiling emoticon now? Do you feel the happiness shared by Chanti? I think, yeah, I think the feeling is now also affecting you in positive way, right? Okay, Now, if you are teaching students, children, for example, yeah, when you ask about their, their favorite animal, for example, you can also ask them to use the emoticon to answer the question. Can we please now practice? What is your favorite animal, everyone? Find relevant emoticon and press, yeah, the relevant emoticon to answer the question. Okay, Bu Chanti, is it cat, Bu Chanti?
Yes, it's a cat.
Yeah, it's cute cat. Yeah, I'm waiting for other participant, please. Bu Chanti is a very active student. I really appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Okay, other, please. Please do not put it in the chat box. Yeah, thank you to put it in the chat box, but also you can do it direct on your video conference. Yeah, thank you, Bohani. Thank you, Boresi. Yeah. All right. So see that I'm trying to show you a very simple interaction with students. Yeah, using the emoticon, everyone. Yeah, because the problem is when you ask them to speak up using their audio, it's going to be noisy, right? So sometimes you can change the activity, yeah, by making use of the emoticon. All right. I think you got the point. Please explore the emoticon because the emoticons are deliberately developed to be used, yeah, by us as the Zoom application users. But of course, it's not applicable only for Zoom. Yeah, almost all video conference have these emoticon facilities. All right, next, yeah, this. Yeah, in Zoom meeting, we also use we also have some more interactive features, including digital whiteboard. I hope you have been able to do that, including this one. And I think not many teachers use this feature yet. Yeah, for Zoom annotate. So what is the function of Zoom annotate, everyone? You can highlight, yeah, some point when you are presenting something. Yeah, for example, yeah, you can for example, highlight or underline something, yeah, whatever you want to do with the Zoom annotate. So make use of it, because when you are doing something on the screen, it will help students also pay attention more on you, right? Yeah, instead of only talking, and then people are listening, and then students go to bed, yeah, as we have watched. Yeah, we don't want it to happen to your class, right? So make use of these interactive features. Okay, you can change the color as well here, right? Yeah. I believe some of you have been familiar with this, but it's not impossible or very likely that some of you have not really explored this emoticon. So you can do something here. Even you can write, yeah, you can write like whatever. For example, my name is Afrianto. You can use this for writing as well on your screen. Okay. Right. All for the Zoom annotate. Now let's move on to the next slide. Of course, you have been familiar with the Zoom breakout room. So if you are wondering about how can you ask your student to have small group discussion, of course, you can assign your student to breakout room. And we have been familiar, I think most of us have been familiar with this one. All right, the next idea is gamification. Yeah, I believe that most of us have been familiar with Kahoot, Quiz, and other apps. Yeah, so we can use more this kind of a gamification to make sure our class are more interactive, because in the gamification later students can compete each other. Yeah, and later student can also see the points. I think the spirit of competition is always good, yeah, to make your student interactive, because basically human being is a competitive creature, I think. Yeah, for good reasons, of course. In Islam, we have fastabikul khairat. So we love competition, but life is not only about competition. You have to remember that. Okay. So make use of these gamification activities more, everyone. Yeah. First, I'm not going to practice this. You have been familiar with this one. Just to remind you that these gamification activities are really good ideas to boost interactivity and collaboration. And Mentimeter, yeah, I think most of us have been familiar with this, but in case you are not yet familiar with this Mentimeter, there are many tutorials in YouTube you can listen and use it. Yeah, this is basically it's free, but if you want to upgrade to the premium one, of course, you will have more facilities. Yeah, what you can do in Mentimeter, you can create polling, yeah, you can have question and answer online, real time, yeah. You can also create quiz, simple quizzes there, yeah. So the good thing of this kind of application, not only for interactivity, this is also to make sure your students are there with you. Because the problem, one of the problems of online learning, we are not really sure whether our students are really there. Sometimes they are hiding behind the camera. They turn off the camera, and we don't know what they are doing. Okay, but when you ask them to do something real time using Mentimeter, for example, those who never respond, so that indicates maybe, yeah, she or he is not there. I use Flipgrid as well for my speaking class. Are you familiar with Flipgrid, everyone? Can you please say yes or no? Are you familiar with Flipgrid? Okay, that's good. Kartika, Bu Alnina, no. Yes, yes. Okay, there's no. Yeah, there are some yes, some no, some yes, some not. For those who have been familiar, that's good. Yeah, make use of it. Yeah, I found it as a one of good applications to have alternative activities in terms of interaction. Yeah, for speaking performance. Yeah, for those who don't know it yet, yeah, you can later explore, search for it, and then you can also go to my YouTube channel. By the way, there are some tutorials about how to use Flipgrid. So let me show you some of my class activities in Flipgrid. Yeah, for example, so Flipgrid is basically similar to other applications, for example, WhatsApp application. But what we can do in Flipgrid is you can comment and respond to somebody's post using video-based responses. So when somebody asking about something using video, and you can also reply using video. It's going to use more data, but it's a good application you can use as an alternative, yeah, to boost interactivity. So students can reply each other using video-based responses, not only text. If they want to reply or to interact using text, that's also available. They can also do that, but they can also record their performance or their responses. So when we see somebody's faces and we listen to the audio, we feel like kind of we are real people, yeah, in online learning environment. Yeah, not only virtual, it is virtual, but of course it's going to be different if we only read text, yeah, text-based responses. So that is the good thing of Flipgrid. And also please explore, there are a lot of free features in Google Suite for Education. Currently, they change to be Google Workspace. Most of Google Workspace apps can be used for collaboration. In our campus today, students do not have to meet lecturers for thesis consultation, for example, because we can do consultation using Google Doc. We can provide comments and suggestions written in Google Doc, and student can read it anywhere, everywhere, anytime, and we can still interact virtually during collaborative features. I mean, using collaborative features in Google Doc, and everything every applications belongs to Google Workspace. We can do it for collaborative project. Yeah, not only Google Doc, but also Google Slide, Google Sheet, yeah, Google Drive, and so on and so forth. So make use of this because basically, if you have personal Gmail, you can access all these applications. But if you want to have more facilities like more storage, of course, you need to upgrade your account to the business account. Otherwise, just use personal Gmail. If one personal Gmail is already almost full, you can have another personal Gmail. Google is, Google never forbid us to have more than one Gmail account, right? Okay. If you still find it very difficult to do this one, yeah, interactivity is still being able to be facilitated using WhatsApp. So sometime in my class, I change the app that I'm using. So I simply ask them to work using WhatsApp, and I ask them to add me into a small group they have. So for example, in speaking activity, if I ask them to discuss a case, and I ask them to do it in group discussion. So another simple activity is ask them to write a WhatsApp group and ask them to add us into the group, and we can watch what they are doing in the group. Yeah, just like what they are doing here in my example. So speaking. So student can write here using their text, but sometimes they can also have voice note, and they are interacting with other. Yeah, like in WhatsApp group. Of course, you have been really familiar. All of us, I think, have been familiar with this one. But my point in this my point in this WhatsApp is, it doesn't have to be a fancy app. Even WhatsApp can be make use of. We can make use of WhatsApp for interactivity and collaboration. Everyone. Okay, I think that's all. Yeah, everyone, some simple ideas that I can share with you. Hopefully it's useful, and I give it back to moderator. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Pak Aprianto. Of course, it is very useful for all of us. I believe that everybody is agree with me. Well, we do, it is a common sense that many challenges that we are actually facing in online learning. One thing that the video that you showed us earlier, this happens all the time actually. So that is why, every teacher is claimed to be able to create and designing actually a very creative and interactive classroom activities, even though it is online. And so I noted one word from you just now is that live is a lot more than just competition. Of course, that is a very good phrase that we have to keep in mind, even though every time we actually compete in every aspect of our life, but do not make it as a focus for our life. So just make things better. Am I right, sir?
Correct, 100.
Okay, thank you. Well, so that actually the end of our speakers today, the end of the presentation from the speakers today. And this is actually a quite unbelievable for me to know that even though all of the 5 speakers today had no coordination at the beginning, but it seems that they have a very inline topic to be presented today. So, for example, for the first presenter, Ibu Finita talk about the automation, and then Fauzo Alpha talk about the students' voice choices, So we need to see the students' choices and voices in learning. And then Ibu Wisma talked about the teaching English in pandemic, which is also in line with the previous topic, and digital literacy from Pak Ridianto, and a very nice closing from Pak Afrianto Daud about how to engage students' interactivity and collaborativity in online classes. So now, dear audiences, we are coming to the second session of this webinar that is going to be discussion session. So as I told you earlier, that you are allowed to unmute your speaker in order to be able to express your questions properly, or you can also write it down on the chat. So before that, I invite all of the speakers again to be on screen. Ibu Finita, are you still here with us? Ibu Finita?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, thank you. And yeah, well, I'm sorry to let you know that Mr. Fauzul Halfa has recently left because he has a flight to catch. So probably he cannot be with us for the discussion session. So, well, is there any questions from the participants, from the audience? Well, so far I've got one question from Ibu Imamati Zikra to Ibu Finita. So the question is, the application you have mentioned are so much helpful, yes, for sure, for teaching skill, like writing, speaking, and reading and listening. So what about if you'd like to teach for higher level, for example, in applied translation? Do you have any insight on how to teach or evaluate students' translated text by applying certain apps? Do you mind answering that, Ibu Finita?
Okay, sure, Bu Herfina. Well, before I answer, I would like to give you an illustration first that in the past, when technology application is not really as many as we have right now, the teacher's job is easy. They are taught certain technology tools and they are given the rules of thumb. If you learn this, it means you can use it for listening skill. If you learn this, it means you can use it for reading skill and so on and so forth. But now that there are so many applications and some of them are not meant for educational purposes, the skill that teachers need to have is not on how to operate the technology, how to use the technology, but how to choose and repurpose technology tools. So right now, we cannot say that if I want to teach what kind of technology that I can use. It's better for you to set the goal first. I want to have this kind of activity. For example, Ibu, the one who asked question, asked about translation. Then there are so many activities that we can do in translation class, right? Of course, the goal is asking our students to translate from the source language to the... Sorry, I was muted. And then what kind of activity that you want to have? Do you want to ask your student to analyze their translation result? So I have an idea. We know we have Google Translate and students tend to use Google Translate, right? Then you can ask them, instead of saying, don't use Google Translate, that we can ask them to translate first, translate it using Google Translate, and second, translate it using your own word, and then compare it. Which one is better, or is there any differences? How are we going to see this? Is it from the grammar point of view? Is it from the word choice? Is it from the cohesion, and so on and so forth? That's one example. Another example is, if you check my slide, there is one named virtual writing tutor. So if you are asking your students to translate from Indonesian into English, then ask them to upload the result in virtual writing tutor. And then that AI can help students to check the punctuation, the grammar, the word choice, and so on. So then they can have they can have feedback, automatic feedback from AI. And then you can continue with the peer feedback with friends, feedback from teachers, and so on and so forth. But the first step is asking the machine to give feedback. But don't stop there. Continue with peer feedback and, if possible, teacher's feedback. That's what I can share, Ibu Herfina. Sorry, Ibu, you are still muted.
Okay, I'm sorry. So as Pak Ridianto said, a lot of us actually are not really good at even using Zoom. Okay, so thank you, Ibu Vinita. I hope it answered your question, Ibu Imamati. That was very clear, I suppose. Now we come to the second question from Bapak Arif Eko Priwo. But do you mind telling me who do you address this question? Only if not, probably this still to Ibu Finita. The question is, how could we implement the pedagogical theories into teaching English with technology? So I think it's still to Ibu Finita.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to
Quite sure.
answer it short and probably pass it to the other presenter. I think this is a general question. Well, pedagogy should be the foundation of our teaching. And then we know that there are so many pedagogical approaches to teaching, right? For example, in the past, we have communicative language teaching, we have a collaborative project-based learning, things like that. Then we can think of how technology can support our pedagogical approach. So actually, if your teaching style is still conventional, or you're still teaching in one way using ceramah mode, and then you're using technology, what happened is you're just using Zoom to convert your ceramah, your lecture into digital. And it's not changing anything. It's not changing the way students learn, and it's not changing the way teachers teach. So what we need to do is change our pedagogical style first. And then we find some technology tools that can support our pedagogical approach. Maybe I will pass to Pak Afrianto. I believe that you can share something related to interaction or something.
Yes, please, Pak Afrianto.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Bu Finita. Yeah, as Bu Finita mentions, technology basically is media to help us facilitating what we want. So you should start first from your teaching style as Bu Finita Dewi, but to be more philosophical, you should start first, yeah, what is the teaching stance that you have in terms of teaching philosophy? Yeah, because talking about teacher center and student center, this is not about what is it, choice like black or white. Yeah, teacher center doesn't mean always bad, or student center doesn't always mean good. Okay, depending on sometimes depending on the material and so on and so forth. So come back to the question: how can technology facilitate the pedagogical theories? Talking about learning theories, for example, one of the well-known learning theories is behaviorism, for example. One of the principles in behaviorism, we have to make sure the importance of reward and punishment, yeah, to change students' behavior. So is it still applicable when we are doing it online? It is very possible. You still can apply the principle of reward and punishment in your class. What I'm doing, for example, in my class, in terms of reward, one of the rules in on my online class, the default of your camera is on. That is the default. With or without my instruction, you should turn on your camera. Okay. So I'm trying to appreciate at the beginning of my class. I'm going to see first the screen, and then I will appreciate and be thankful for those who have opened the camera on. All right. And so that's the way I try to provide reward by appreciating students who have turned on the camera. And how about the punishment? One of the rules in my class is if you are if you switch off your camera, let me know what are the reasons. But if you never let me know, I'm considering that you are like multitasking or something else. And you are hiding behind camera. I'll try to remind them to switch on camera again. Or if I have mentioned their names 2 or 3 times and you never respond on my comments or my questions or my call, I will remove you from my screen. And we make like an agreement from the beginning. So sometimes if I see somebody is off, then I try to mention, "Hello, Rosa, are you there?" And then I wait for like 2-3 seconds. Rosa, you listening to me? Rosa Susanti? Okay.
Are you there?
Rosa Santi, are you with us? Okay, for example, because we have made an agreement before, if 3 times mentioned, no response, I'll remove you from my class. So maybe, yeah, by practicing this kind of reward and punishment, student will learn that in the next meeting, they have to be stay tuned in your class. Yeah, because basically every human being, yeah, will try to learn from the first place. If I do this, what is the consequence, right? If I do good thing, I'm going to get good consequences, and I do bad thing, I'm going to get bad consequences, and I don't want the bad consequence happen, right? That is the nature of human being, right? So this is the principle of reward and punishment, in online learning. Yeah. So your rule, for example, you must switch your camera, everyone. But if you never punish, in quotation, yeah, for educational punishment in this case, if you never remind, if never punish those who never turn on their camera, your rule will never work. Yeah, student will ignore the rule. Okay, and yeah, that is one tiny example. Yeah, of course, if we explore, there are a lot of examples that we can do during online practicing the theories of learning or pedagogical principles. Okay, that's all from me, Ibu Arvina.
All right. Thank you, Pak, for the very clear answers and also a good example. Okay, now let's come to the next question. This is from Ibu Eni Prasetyowati. She addressed these questions to Bapak Afrianto again. So she said, sometimes our students do not have any motivation to discuss in WA or e-learning. Do you have any suggestions or ways to motivate them for joining and being active discussion in our discussion forum? Thank you. That is what her question.
Okay.
Can you please answer?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, again, back to the principle of behaviorism, everyone. Yeah, you have to make sure to have reinforcement for whatever the student does, whatever the student do in your class, including in WhatsApp group. So as a teacher, you need to control what they are doing in the group. So as assigning student in a group work doesn't mean teacher leave the group. Yeah, teacher should be there and controlling what's happening. So what I'm doing, if for example there are 4 students in the group, and then only one student dominate the conversation, I will remind other students to speak up. Okay, I will remind. Or yeah, if one student say a very good idea, I will make use of the emoticon again. I send like 3, 4 thumbs. Yeah, 4 thumbs up. Even you don't even need 4, actually. One thumbs up is enough. But sometimes, in WhatsApp group, people are sometimes wasting the thumb up. Yeah, what I mean is one thumb up from a teacher means a lot, yeah, for a student, including to boost their motivation. I always remind myself and all teachers, everyone, that especially in Indonesia, teacher is somebody really highly respected. So sometimes I'm saying that all words come from teachers can be a magic, yeah, can be magic words. So if you can select positive words, it can positively affect in your student in many ways. And the other side, if you have bad words for your student, is going to affect your student negatively, yeah, as well. So that's why one thumb up for your student means a lot for the students. Okay. So how are you going to feel if you are a student and you try to send a message to your teacher or lecturer, and the teacher never respond to the message? And I think as a human being, we will feel discouraging. Yeah, we'll feel discouraged, and maybe we are not happy and we feel sad. But even if you have got a reply only with one thumb up from your teacher, it means a lot for you. And if the teacher can add some more positive sentences, this is a great job. Rudy, for example, is the name of student Rudy. I really love it. These 2 sentences are magic for the students. They might remember these 2 magic sentences for the rest of their life, because maybe before he or she never got these positive sentences from other teachers. Okay, so everyone, so come back to the questions. What you need to do to boost students' motivation in your group class. I mean, in your group work in WhatsApp. Be there, present there with the student, yeah, and respond to the student's activity, yeah. You can sometimes send a voice note, yeah. I love the ideas from Rosa, for example. That's a very valid point she mentioned, yeah. And I would love to hear more from other students, please. So when Rosa listened to the voice from you and her name is specifically mentioned, Rosa would feel really proud of herself, and she would be more motivated, I believe. Okay, I think that's all from me. Maybe some other speakers can add some more ideas. Thank you. Yeah, I'll give it back to moderator. Bu Ervina, you are still muted. You're still muted.
Yeah, I'm really sorry, sir, because of the technical problem. So I missed probably a few words from your word just now. But that's okay. I hope your explanation is quite clear and can answer the question from Ibu Yeni. Actually, there are more questions here. Let's see. Okay, from what else? I'm sorry. Okay, so there is another question from Ibu. Cannot see that. From Anissa from Surakarta. So she addressed these questions to any speakers. She said, I was wondering if you have any recommendation of a platform for English teachers to assess speaking skill, which can record the student's speech in form of the video right after being said. So is there any recommended application, Bapak, Ibu? Maybe Ibu or Dr. Wisma Yunita can answer the questions.
Well, thank you, Ina. But for the platform to access speaking skill, probably I don't really know. Maybe I'm not really as advanced as Pak Aprianto and Bu Vinita. Probably Bu Vinita knows about that, how to assess. But usually the assessing of speaking skill still with the teachers. We still need human teacher.
Yeah. Yes, of course. Yeah, I agree with you. But okay, cool. Maybe Ibu Vinita can add a little bit information.
The question is how to assess, to evaluate, or how can we record the students' performance, speaking performance. I agree with Ibu Wisma that to evaluate, probably there are some AI, but it's not free, I guess. I heard that British Council is now developing a speaking assessment tool using AI, and there's a machine behind it to score the students, but I haven't checked it. But to record the student performance, I think Pa Afrianto mentioned Flipgrid. Flipgrid is one of the best tools to record students' performance because it's in the form of video. However, due to the high bandwidth, sometimes students have difficulties to access Flipgrid. So in the alternative, I sometimes use voice instead of video. So you can use, sorry, I don't remember the name, Spice, something Spice. I will put it in the chat box later. You can use some online audio recorder and then ask the students, Voice Spice, thank you, Bu Anissa. You are great. Voice Spice or Fokeru to record your students' voice, and then the scoring is still using human. So what we can do is collecting students' performance. Well, Telegram is also another way to record students' voice. I'm not suggesting WhatsApp, because in WhatsApp, then students will use their storage, and you as a teacher, you will use your storage to download all the audio, but in Telegram, you don't have to use your storage. We are going to use the Telegram cloud. Maybe Pak Afrianto can talk more about Flipgrid and other tools.
Yes, please.
Okay, I will add a bit for in general, assessing productive skills tend to be subjective. So speaking and writing tend to be needs a subjective assessment. So in other words, we still need people to assess the performance. However, as Bu Vinta indicates, AI is people are now dealing with AI or artificial intelligence. Very possible in the future, we can have software to assess one's speaking performance or writing performance. But I believe we cannot rely on AI in this case. At the end of the day, it is human, who can finally decide somebody's score. I think it would be different from reading and listening. I think we can rely on technology. Okay. About Flipgrid, I found it very interesting and useful. But again, as Bu Vinta mentioned, because this is video-based software or application. So please be mindful with your students' situation or your students' maybe financial capacity, because going to use up more data or bandwidth. So I use Flipgrid only as an alternative for my teaching activities. So I do not use Flipgrid all the time in speaking class. And students love to see variety in our class, everyone. I think basically human being love variety, right? We love to see something new. So if possible, if you are opening your class, student is never able to predict what you are going to do. That will be a lovely class. So students keep wondering what Bu Vinta will do next. What will Bu Chanti do next, and so on. But if your teaching activities have been, what is it? Because you do it consistently and students know what you're going to do next, it's not going to be interesting any longer, I'm afraid. So in terms of curiosity, we need to boost student curiosity, and one of the things that you can do is try to have more varieties in your class. I think this is very general answer. I don't know whether it answered the question from the participant. Thank you.
Well, I hope it answered the questions. Thank you. Now, let's come, I think, to the last questions that can be asked today, even though I say that there are some other questions, but because of the limitation of the time, probably this is going to be the last questions to ask. And these questions come from Ms. Yesi Marzona, which is addressed to also all of the speakers. She asks, how far is the app goes well for teaching and learning process? There are so many problems like network, students' motivation, and etc. while we are teaching, something like that. So that is the question. So as I said, this is probably the last questions for today's webinar. Can you please answer, Ibu, Bapak, because it is addressed to all of you. Maybe I give chance to Ibu Vinita first.
Well, talking about effectiveness is difficult. So the thing is, there is no one best technology tools. So the thing is, what the best is something work in your class. If your class, your situation is in a low bandwidth situation, it means you go for any tech tools which facilitate low bandwidth. Pa Afrianto mentioned about WhatsApp or maybe Telegram. You can use it. You don't have to use flashy technology to teach your students, but choose the technology suitable for your situation. I think other presenter can continue my
Thank you, Ibu
opening.
Yeah. Thank you, Ibu Vinita. Probably Ibu Wisma Yunita, can you please add a little bit
Thank
more,
you.
considering that you are actually doing an online classes also
Yeah.
at the moment.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm trying to find out the question on the chat, but I find it now. So how far the apps goes well for teaching and learning process? Actually, every application that we use in the teaching and learning process will be not possible, not working if there is no internet and there is no electricity. So when that's happened, so everything is stopped. So problem like networks, yeah, as you said, that Ms. Yesi said that network will make everything stop. But related to the student motivation about the, what about the, probably the questions, there are so many problems like network, student motivation. Okay, so when we have a problem with the student motivation in teaching online, I agree with Pa Afrianto. I was smiling when he said that when I call the student 3 times and he is not responding, and I remove them from the class, and that some students, and it's okay to do that once in a while, once a meeting, and we send a message that I'm really studious about this classroom, and so you may not be playing around, or just close your camera and you're there. And I said, you can leave my class, and if you think that you have another business to do, yeah, you can go. I said, and it's you don't have to be here. And if you are here, your Zoom is on. No, I mean, you are in the Zoom, but you're just spending your quota. I said, so better to leave. It's okay for me. I said, if you want to learn and be joining here, if you're not, it's okay. Also, I said, you are free to choose. I said. So yeah, I did that times too. But to motivate the student, actually, it's depends also on the material, what material. But giving giving the reinforcement, giving the appreciation to the student does work well for the motivation of the student. And also when you teach the student with the, when you teach the student, but you teach them with love. I mean, you love your student, and they can feel that. You love your student. Usually at the first meeting of any course in a university, I motivate them a lot. You have to be a good student. There's no time for you to do like pacaran. You might not do that because your friends, your parents expect you to graduate soon, expect you to be a good student. They will not ask about when will what is the problem you have probably in the school, but they will ask you about when will you graduate, something like that. So I go back to their work. I go to their work, for example, like your mom and your dad, and motivate them. Your mom and your dad wants you to go to university because they want you to be a better person than them, and say something like that. So I said everything that on the first meeting, and so that's building the a good relationship with the student, and they will love you, because you love them. And remember to remind them, you go to the university, you have to study, not to go to nongkrong or to go to hang out with your friend or in Janji Jiwa or Kopi Joni or whatever. No, it's that you have to study first here. You have no other job to do except for studying. I said, and you are responsible for that because your parents, and you are lucky for that, your parents sends you to university. So motivation is important to get the students' engagement to us, or they like us. They like. If the student like you, they will follow your course well, and they will wait for you to come. And then they are there in the Zoom before you come. Sometimes they do that. And even I got some in the 5th meeting, for example, they also will give you a good feeling. They give you a reward as well. Not only you give them the reward. They, for example, I have an experience that they, at the end of the class, they make something like, note or something like, I love you, something like that at the end. How is it? Why did you do that? And all of them, all the class, all of the students in the class with the Zoom, and said, I've just met you 5 times through Zoom. Why did you do that? And I said, okay, man, we like you. We like your class or something like that. So, and giving your care and concern and love to the student, they can feel it actually. And that will motivate them to learn and to love your subject. I think that's what happened. That's better. That's a good way to motivate. Except if there is no internet connection or something, electricity is off, but you still send later the task. But the first thing when you teach, you need to love your student, and when you love someone, that will go back to you. You get it. You get it back. I think that's what I can say about this. Sorry if it's not really answer your question, Ibu Yesi.
Well, I personally think that it answers the questions that the basic of everything is actually love the students. Once you love them and they are actually waiting to see you, looking forward to see you, either virtually or, in person. So I could not agree more with that idea. Do you have anything to add, Bapak Afrianto?
I think this is also not really an answer, but maybe my closing statement. If we are about to close this session, right?
Yes, exactly.
First, being online that we have been doing now is something that we cannot leave, no matter pandemic or not. So my first message is keep learning. In terms of technology, I think we need to be a guru or a teacher that I call in Bahasa Minang is the lasak guru. Guru yang lasak. You know the meaning of lasak, by the way, Bu Cinta? Lasa is somebody
very
who
active.
Very active and try something new, learn by themselves. Yeah, jadi diutak atik ya. And in many cases, I think we can learn by ourselves at the moment. Yeah, by simply going to YouTube, watch whatever we want. Yeah, by playing with keyword. And the next one is keep learning. And then the next one is as I said before, be somebody who is who love something new, new in terms of methodology, new in terms of materials, and new in terms of our approach to our students. So basically, what I'm saying, we have to be somebody with a transformative mindset. Yeah, do not only love what we have now, but we have to keep transforming ourselves to be a better teacher. So that's all from me, everyone. Thank you again for the host, for the committee, for this wonderful event.
Okay, well, having that closing statement is perfectly said by Bapak Afrianto Daud. Looks like we are coming to the end of this webinar. So I'd like to thank you so much to all of the speakers who have given us such very priceless knowledge and very inspiring information that you've shared, and inshallah it will be applicable for all of us and it will be very useful for all of us. And also I'd like to thank to all of the audiences for being so attentive and participative. I hope I'll see you again inshallah in the next seminar for real soon. Thank you so much Bapak, Ibu, Bu Finita, Bu Dewi, and Pak Ridianto, Pak Daud. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Pak Daud. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, everyone.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
So you don't need photo session at the end, committee?
Oh, yeah.
Just to remind you in case.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, sir, we do need the photo session. Please, I don't want to keep you waiting, but it is being processed. Can everybody turn on the camera, please? And smile. Okay? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Yep.
Done.
Done.
Okay.
Bapak, thank you Ibu, thank you everybody. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thanks folks everyone. Have a nice day.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you.
Ayo wis, ayo Mi.
Hai Cuil.
Alhamdulillah nasi lemak. Suara
Sorry.
Thank you for the participant to join this room. Okay, we will share the material later in WhatsApp group, everybody. So please do not leave yet in the WhatsApp group. Bu Wisma, udah makan belum?
Not yet.
Kami kirim makan dari sini aja ya.
I will have, after this, I will have my lunch. And
Makasih ya Bu Asri Dayanti sudah hadir di acara ini, Bu.
Iya, Dilan, sama-sama. Padahal ini kan guru SMA cuma ya.
Kita semuanya, malah guru SMA memang targetnya, Ibu.
gak ada yang cuma loh, semuanya guru itu hebat.
Waduh, ini lagi nih Wisma, Dilan.
Nice.
Vina mana dia? Oh, udah hilang.
Vinanya lama hilang, Bu, larinya.
Ada Melina juga tadi, ada Mei, ada Novri.
Iya, si Nafri ada juga nampak tadi. Tepuk tangan dulu.
Sehat ya Uni. Di mana ngajar nih? Di Padang?
Asli ngajar di kayu tanam, Wisma.
Oh, di
kayu tanam SMAN 1-2x11 kayu tanam.
Itu ya, apa namanya tuh?
Assalamualaikum Uni Asri.
I miss you much. Vina, Uni senyum-senyum jelek Vina dari tadi.
How I miss you. It's been a while. Karisma, thank you.
I hope it's good enough.
Oh, it's more than enough. I believe.
Don't worry, be happy.
Uni Asri, my goodness, it's been ages.
Iya, Vina. Vina masih seperti itu.
It's 14 years ago. 12 years ago.
14 years.
Yeah.
Kak Wis, do you remember Uni Asri, Kak Wis?
I do remember her, and I remember her face. And I said,
the smiling face, something we can never forget. Well, Aka Uni, please excuse me because I need to go to my baby. Uni Asri. Okay. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Nih, sudah ikut. Wis, makan siang lain lu?
Yo, cari makan lu.
Restoran yang lama di Bengkulu.
Ay, datang lagi sih kamu aja.
Alhamdulillah Bu, makasih Bana Bu.
No problem. Ayo Bana minta apa tuh? Minta malu lah itu diminta sama Ina lunjul lah jadi deh. Tadi malam jam 1 baru jadi.
Nggak terang aduh.
Slide-nya. Diminta sama Ina kemarin. It's been really hectic, crazy. Kami akreditasi, udah itu rapin. Oh, gila. Udah itu nilai kan, nilai juga deadline kemarin, rencana mau bikin itu, ada jadi. Tadi malam jam 1 baru selesai slide-nya. Astaga.
Tapi kan udah, memanglah dojonya.
Ini harus dibuat jadi slide kan? Itu ya belum ada, itu baru.
That's very good, that's excellent.
Satu SKS pastinya, buat semalam.
Ya, itu kehebatan ibu. Ibu biasanya organize mah.
Nah, itu memang gilo-gilo mana. Pulang kadang jam 9 malam lah habis akreditasi itu. Matos sama bangka.
Akreditasinya daring.
Iya, tapi kan sebelum datang tuh kan tuh siang menyiapkan data-data segala macam. Kadang pulang pas yang visitasi itu jam 9 udah selesai visit mereka, sudah tuh kita kan langsung tindak lanjutin kan rekomendasi mereka. Oh, bagi baku lagi tuh. Jam 9 malam pulang, udah besok lagi seharian.
Mudah-mudahan bagus.
Amin.
Kapan nih? Orangnya datang kapan? Atau daringnya kapan?
Udah selesai prosesnya itu. Visitasinya itulah yang ini kan semuanya. Sudah itu
awal-awal berangkat ibu tuh wah exciting, tapi sudah tuh lelah, Pak. Lahir banget.
Lelah banget. Excited lelah. Sudah itu disambut dengan nilai yang harus masuk juga hari Jumat. Sudah itu yang menguji maraton.
Ingat aja.
Komplain sih, tapi itu memang yang harus kita lewatin karena pilihan kita kan menjadi teachers kan. Maraton uji itu 5 atau 3, 4 sehari gila.
Tidak ada kan PR-nya banyak tuh kalau nguji itu, apalagi nguji pasca ada.
Nggak tahu, itu kan ada rutenya masuk ke dalam Remund tuh kan. Nah, kalau di Remund kan poinnya lebih termasuk dari bayi lah.
Ayolah Bu, makan Bu.
Oke, sip, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Talk to you later.
Bu. Assalamualaikum.